lava, and so Kyna's been doing the elimination run for an incredibly long time. But now we're into it, and Sandstorm.
Are we seeing Fenrir Mordex? What year am I looking at here? Oh yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. I'm telling you, I said that his best days were behind him and that, you know, he might be a regular top 8 player, but the way he's looking now, and now we're seeing the Fenrir Mordex, I know chat is stoked. I know all the viewers at home are stoked. I'm stoked because this is where Sandstorm made his name. He made this legend and this skin and this setup completely iconic in Brawlhalla.
Yo, this is Mr. Incredible going into the locker and putting back on the suit with the eye on the chest. Sandstorm is going back to the iconic Fenrir Mordex.
Except he's not out of shape like Mr. Incredible was when he put that back on. It seems like he's been fighting fit now. Sandstorm here. He is unarmed at the weapon disadvantage. Both players now in the red. The neutral light coming out. Again, the neutral air coming out. Swapping over to the gauntlets. The neutral light coming out. Not KOing, of course, after that gauntlet nerf. Somehow finding priority over the ground pound with that guitar. Neutral air, and there is the signature KO off the top, throwing straight up on that one.
The down sig from Sandstorm launches Kyna into the sky. Nice pickup there with the down light. Continues it with the scythe and swaps over to the gauntlets for the sig.
Nice weapon toss to help cover the landing. Kyna was probably looking for a D-light setup.
Oh my gosh!
Kyna swapping back over to the blasters, tossing him up for a second just in case that next weapon spawn came in. He could grab those guitars quickly without having to disarm himself as late once Sandstorm spawned back in. He's looking for another KO, hunting for those recoveries on the gauntlets.
Right, misses, and Sandstorm punishes another down sig to KO Kyna.
It's wild that we had like so many South Americans in the top 8 of the bracket. It's wild that we had an EU team take 2v2, but imagine Sandstorm wins this LAN in 1v1s.
Dude, the return of Sandstorm is not quite here yet because he's got to get through Kyna and then into Impala. A nice down sig, keeping that pressure going on to Kyna. Sidelight.
Oh man, he's getting aerial. He's using that scythe down air. Such a strong move to use. Actually brings him over back onto the stage rather than using the strong D-light. Bringing him back on the stage so he can throw out that side signature. Take game 1 with a 2-stock still in the yellow.
That was a little bit of a stomp there from Sandstorm. Hey, like you said, 2 stocks left to his name and kind of only able to put out about 200-something damage in that game.
Kyna coming out struggling this much early on, man. I don't know how that bodes for him. Look at that grab. Sandstorm spent more than half of the game on that first stock, about maybe even 60% of the game on that first stock, and even the beginning of the second stock. You can see part of that was Kyna respawning, so he's not going to take any damage there, but there were still parts of it as well towards the end of Kyna's second and the beginning of Kyna's third where he wasn't taking any damage either, and then look at the end as well. Yet another flat line where Sandstorm is not taking any damage, and he's adding quite a bit up with those sight strings, with the gauntlet strings, and of course, both signature kits.
Yeah, and it didn't look like there was any warm-up time needed for his gauntlets. He was still able to put out about 190 damage on his gauntlets alongside the like 300 plus he did with his scythe.
Nice 3-piece there coming out from Kyna, hoping to find the 4th. Doesn't make the connection. Almost went in. Almost fell into the signature. Almost grabs that down there. I feel like Sandstorm is he either almost gets the hit or he is getting like 9 hits. And that is an incredibly early stock for Sandstorm.
Didn't even have to hit him there, just made sure Kyna couldn't get that wall touch, and now Sandstorm with a big lead again, this time in game number 2.
Neutral light into the down air. He's not able to find any of these gigantic strings that he was finding previously. Like he's finding like 2 and 3 hits sometimes. Nice big slap there. Could be evening this up quickly.
Good jump to avoid the nair.
It looked like he was going to go in, but then he saw, okay, there's not enough for him to get back. I'm going to play carefully. I'm going to play safe because I could get hit with that nair. Could end up getting turned around and edge guarded.
Sandstorm lanes back down. Kyna brought this one back. Nice dare, and Kyna dodges away.
You see him waiting after that down air. There's the down signature. Sandstorm, I think he said that's his favorite one.
Scythe down sig?
Yeah.
It's a solid one.
When like back in the day, it was always like the lingering icicles on the side sig that really caught people out when they tried to spot dodge it.
Yo, but Kyna's catching Sandstorm out. Sandstorm running out of health here to play with on the second stock.
And Kyna, you saw him run all the way to the left side of the stage. He's still trying to make moves for that. Dashes in, hits the neutral signature, didn't make a connection with it though.
Oh, doesn't hit the recovery. Kyna swaps over to the Katars. Down Sig, throws him down.
I swear, it's almost every single KO from Sandstorm, if not every single one, is a signature KO.
I mean, that's what we were talking about with Kyna, right? That's the best way to finish off a stock, is getting that single signature. Down Sig baited out by Sandstorm. There's the downlight, there's the recovery. We're going to final stocks.
Much more even this game. At the end of last game, Sandstorm was just in the yellow on his second stock by the time everything was said and done. Now, Kyna finds himself and Sandstorm both on final stocks, gets through.
And then Chase dodges to the other side. Kyna responds with some Qatar damage, but Sandstorm now getting the edge guard built up here. One more hit. Kyna touches the wall. Sandstorm backs away, baiting for the down Sig.
Now you saw Kyna go in with the recovery earlier, and that put him right back on the stage, right in Sandstorm's hand. Meanwhile, the second time he recovered back to the stage, he stuck on the wall instead of using that recovery. Down air, sending Kyna over to the right side, recovering high, gets the falling neutral air. Now he's finding some string damage. It's not quite as quick as the previous ones he was finding, but still, that was like 6 unanswered hits. Sandstorm even shaking his head after he whiffed that signature.
He knew that was a wild idea, but the ground pound was a great idea after the side light, and that's going to be Sandstorm up 2-0 over the final South American.
We could see Kyna taking nothing more than a bronze medal. Still an amazing effort, still an amazing reward for all of his gameplay this weekend. But players like Kyna and players like Sandstorm, they have their eyes set on the gold medal.
You know they wanted a 10 damage difference between the two of them. This time Sandstorm leaning a little bit more into his gauntlets. This is what you love to see from Sandstorm. He can play both weapons to great effect.
Now, even though there was only a 10 damage difference, Sandstorm was maybe like 40% of the way through his final stock. He was still in like the orange stages, maybe even early orange, and that's because he was just more efficient than Kyna was by using those signatures. Now Kyna's finding the string, taking Sandstorm all the way to the right. You saw him sweating. Sandstorm fighting back with his gauntlets. That sidelight doesn't have enough, but he gets up and then down at the 45-degree angle with the down air from the Katars. Not able to punish the land. He gets hit for 2.
The dodge. Sandstorm backing away. Damage deficit. The neutral Sig. Not going to quite KO, but Sandstorm has enough movement to get back up.
Is he? Okay, I was wondering if he was going to try the neutral signature again as the KO move, especially if Sandstorm wants to play airly, if he's looking for those down airs. Very strong move in the Scythe weapon kit, one of my least favorite moves to play against in the entire game because it's so strong. Neutral Sig might be the thing to deal with that.
Kyna almost a full stock lead now, but there's that
brutal.
down Sig. So many times he's taken a stock off of Kyna, and it will happen again. Sandstorm brings this one back. That down Sig is so good for Sandstorm.
Getting caught with that right over the corner and not being like bounced off the stage or anything like that, that's like taking it a Surrey dunk when you're in orange. It's very rare that you're going to be able to come back from that. It's at least going to set up for the edge guard for at least the potential of guaranteeing that stock, but especially if you're caught out in the air, you happen to be going in for that landing, you don't have enough jumps to get back, you're totally done.
But Kyna shook that one off real quick. He's already putting Sandstorm into the red. His blaster is now doing a lot of work. Can he get the downlight? Sandstorm using that longer range.
Oh, he's adding up the damage so well. Kyna can't hardly find a single hit until that blaster side air gets punished with one of the first Scythe neutral signatures we've seen this set.
Didn't even set up for it, just called out the movement of Kyna. Now he's over to the gauntlets here. Kyna, there's the weapon spawn, but he can't pick it up.
The tug-of-war between these two on this second stock. We're about 2 minutes into this game. Spot dodging that and hitting the side light. There's the D-light into the recovery. Again, he knew that there was enough damage added up because so many other times we saw him go for the D-light into the GC neutral heavy. So he knows.
I mean, he also just burned his dodge on that gravity cancel side light to challenge Sandstorm. Sandstorm with the weapon toss now. Off stage.
Oh, that's dangerous.
He's back.
I thought he was surely done after using that dodge.
There, not quite enough, but the sweat beads, and there's the downlight from Sandstorm. Final stocks here in game number 3. Can Kyna take this to game 4?
Totally even on this one. Kyna needs to get this stock if he has any hope of not being eliminated in 3rd place. Pushing it to a game 4 and hopefully continuing into a victory, but Sandstorm, they're even on the damage add up.
Down Sig puts him off stage. Downlight. Downlight.
Oh, Kyna's finding nothing here.
Went for 3 downlights in a row. Kyna got around it. Sandstorm still getting a lot of good damage here onto Kyna.
He's not falling for any of these D6 here lately, though. Sandstorm's thrown out a few of them. Kyna's been able to punish.
He's getting damage. Doesn't go for the weapon spawn. Sandstorm was too close. There's a neutral light. Avoids the recovery.
He's trying to open up with these guitar neutral lights. This
He
one's
doesn't
about
go
on
to
the
the corner.
stage. He still has hope.
He got bounced. It ate some of the forest. Kyna's still living, but he gets disarmed. There's the weapon spawn. He goes too close, and the down sig from Sandstorm means he's going to grand finals.
Kyna from Brazil, South America, going to finish here at Dreamhack San Diego in 3rd place. Incredible work from Kyna this weekend. Didn't place quite as well in 2v2s as I would have really thought he was going to, but it seemed like he was saving up everything for 1v1s here. He had an amazing...